From the case of Samantha White, a Florida mum caught on camera with her Labrador, to Deanna Huff, who had sex with multiple dogs.
They didn't deserve that. They didn't deserve that at all.
In this video, we uncover 8 disturbing cases of women caught on camera with their dogs, starting with the infamous Samantha White. Samantha Lee White. In early 2024, deputies in Lee County, Florida, believed they were preparing to tackle a case of child exploitation. A tip had come in through national cybercrime channels suggesting that illegal child sexual abuse material might be stored in a home in North Fort Myers. Armed with this information, the Lee County Sheriff's Office executed a search warrant on the residence of Samantha Lee White and her husband, John.
And the following items is what we're going to be looking for. Images or videos of child engaging in sexual conduct defined in Florida State Statute 827.071.
I don't understand.
Hold on,
I can't have you read this to me now.
But when detectives began examining the couple's phones, they uncovered something no one had anticipated. Something so disturbing that seasoned investigators later described it as among the most grotesque discoveries of their careers. On the devices were videos showing Samantha engaging in sexual intercourse with the family's chocolate Labrador. To make matters even worse, John was the one holding the phone, deliberately recording and preserving the abuse for reasons investigators could only speculate about. Authorities immediately seized 4 dogs from the home and transferred them to Lee County Domestic Animal Services for safety.
The only other thing we're going to try is we want to have her come in and get the dog.
Veterinary examinations brought relief in one respect. The animals did not show evidence of lasting physical injuries. Still, investigators emphasized that the lack of physical damage did not minimize the severity of the acts. The case against Samantha escalated quickly as forensic analysts continued to comb through phones and digital storage. Initially, prosecutors charged her with a single felony count of sexual activities involving animals, but with each day of analysis, more videos surfaced. By July 2024, Samantha faced charges of 3 counts of possession of obscene material, including depictions of child pornography, and 4 counts of sexual contact with animals. The latter charges stunned the community, but as prosecutors often must do, they made difficult decisions during plea negotiations. Ultimately, the child-related counts were dropped in exchange for a plea that guaranteed prison time on the bestiality charges. John, her husband, was not spared either. Because he knowingly recorded the acts, he faced charges of 6 counts of possession of obscene material, including depictions of child pornography, and 2 counts of sexual contact with animals. In April 2025, Samantha appeared before Judge Bruce Kyle and entered a plea of no contest to 3 counts of bestiality. Judge Kyle sentenced her to 3 years in state prison, followed by 3 years of probation. Beyond incarceration, her punishment carried lifelong consequences. She was permanently prohibited from owning or living with animals, placed on Florida's Animal Abuser Registry, and ordered to pay court costs and fines. This registry, only recently enacted in Florida, was designed to track offenders and prevent them from quietly adopting or purchasing animals in the future. Brenna Montgomery. In Las Vegas, a city known for spectacle and excess, investigators stumbled upon a case in 2022 that shocked even those used to handling difficult crimes. It started with a tip passed to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, one of the most common gateways for cybercrime investigations. Detectives in Nevada were told that illicit files may be circulating online from an address in their jurisdiction. When they executed search warrants, they discovered something even more disturbing than what they initially feared. The case would center on 31-year-old Brenna Montgomery, who admitted to creating videos of herself engaging in sexual activity with her own dog. Police reports, later summarized by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, described how investigators seized her devices and discovered around 150 files depicting bestiality. Among those, 5 videos clearly showed Montgomery's face, leaving little doubt as to her identity. Some of the videos were described in court documents as involving the use of peanut butter to entice the dog, details that made the case even more unsettling. According to detectives, when they first confronted her, Montgomery downplayed how the content had ended up on her devices. Eventually, however, she admitted to producing the videos herself. The charges evolved as the forensic analysis continued. In early 2024, prosecutors filed a felony count for possession of a visual presentation depicting sexual conduct of a child, alongside a gross misdemeanor count of bestiality. The pairing of these 2 charges, one involving child sexual abuse material and the other involving animals, was rare, and it elevated the case in the eyes of legal analysts who follow these prosecutions. News. The Independent and Yahoo News both reported how unusual it was for a defendant to face both categories at once, since the evidence had to meet different statutory definitions. When Montgomery appeared in front of District Judge Jennifer Schwartz in May 2024, the courtroom was packed with reporters and onlookers. Judge Schwartz handed down a sentence of probation with strict conditions, a suspended prison term that could be activated if she violated her terms, and mandatory registration as a sex offender. Montgomery was also ordered to undergo a comprehensive mental health evaluation. During the sentencing, the judge issued a stern warning. If there was ever another allegation, even remotely similar to the previous conduct, she would serve time in state prison without hesitation. This case is notable not just for its disturbing facts, but for how it highlights the unpredictable nature of cybercrime investigations. Detectives had been expecting to find child exploitation files and instead uncovered a large cache of bestiality videos. The overlap between the two types of content alarmed prosecutors, who stressed that individuals engaged in one form of sexual exploitation may not stop there. The case underscored the need for vigilance in monitoring online spaces where disturbing content can circulate, often hiding in plain sight until a digital footprint leads investigators to someone's front door. Denise Frazier. In March 2023, Jones County, Mississippi became the center of a scandal that made national headlines and sparked outrage across social media.
I would check myself into a mental hospital today, but I have things to do.
The case involved 19-year-old Denise Frazier, a Mississippi State University student who was arrested after videos surfaced online showing her engaging in sexual acts with a male dog. What made her case stand out wasn't just the act itself, but how quickly the footage went viral, drawing in viewers far beyond the state's borders before law enforcement could intervene. The investigation began when a local man tipped off authorities after coming across a clip of Frazier on Twitter. The video showed her in a parked vehicle with a large German Shepherd, an image that circulated rapidly across platforms like X, Telegram, and adult content-sharing sites. When officers with the Jones County Sheriff's Department began tracing the video, they were stunned to find multiple clips online, one in a vehicle, another in a church parking lot, and others in private chat groups. Frazier was quickly taken into custody, and deputies emphasized the seriousness of the charges. Under Mississippi law, bestiality is classified as a felony, carrying up to 10 years in prison. At her bond hearing, held in April 2023, Frazier appeared shaken as prosecutors outlined the evidence. The judge set her bond at $25,000 and imposed restrictions that barred her from owning or being near animals while awaiting trial. Frazier was arrested once again on similar charges while out on bond in Forest County last February. The charges came after a video surfaced of a pregnant Frazier having intercourse with another dog. For her part, Frazier initially denied willingly creating the videos. In early interviews with investigators, she claimed she had been coerced and threatened by unknown individuals online who pressured her into performing the acts. However, prosecutors and forensic analysts noted there was no evidence to support those claims. The videos appeared to be filmed casually, with no signs of duress, and in environments familiar to her. In February 2025, she was eventually sentenced to 4 years in prison to be served at the Rankin County Prison, with her release date set at January 23, 2029. What makes Frazier's case uniquely unsettling is the way it highlights the role of social media in exposing hidden abuse. Unlike other cases uncovered during cybercrime investigations, this one came to light because the videos spread faster than the perpetrators could hide them. In a world where nearly everyone carries a phone capable of recording, crimes like these can be instantly immortalized, and once they reach the internet, they can never truly be erased. Kaylee Jill Eskelsen. In April 2024, the small community of Englewood, Florida was shaken when 20-year-old Kaylee Jill Eskelsen was arrested on charges of bestiality involving her dogs. What made her case particularly disturbing was not only the act itself, but the cold, matter-of-fact way in which she admitted to investigators that she had filmed herself committing the abuse. The case exposed the challenges law enforcement faces when trying to police crimes that are often hidden behind closed doors but leave a lasting impact on the community and on the animals involved. The investigation began when a tip reached the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office about potentially illicit material circulating online. Her arrest followed an investigation by the Special Victims Unit, which they say revealed that Eskelsen had 2 dogs, a cur and a dachshund, in her home and engaged in sexual acts with at least one of the animals. Detectives traced the content back to Eskelsen and obtained a search warrant for her home. When they confronted her, she initially attempted to downplay the allegations, but eventually admitted to creating a video where she engaged in sexual activity activity with her dogs. According to local reporting by ABC7 and the Sarasota Herald Tribune, she told officers that she had sent the video to at least one person through a messaging platform. This confirmation, paired with the digital evidence seized, gave authorities all they needed to move forward with charges. Eskelsen was taken into custody and booked on charges of sexual activities involving animals and producing pornographic images or videos involving animals. Court records revealed that the charges carried a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. Prosecutors emphasized the seriousness of the case, noting that her actions not only constituted animal cruelty, but also crossed into the realm of digital exploitation by sharing the video. They argued that her decision to transmit the material elevated the crime, since it opened the possibility of the video being circulated online indefinitely. As of August 2025, there has been little reporting on whether Eskelsen's case had gone to trial or resulted in a plea deal. The lack of updates has fueled speculation that she may be negotiating with prosecutors or that the case is moving slowly through the courts. Regardless of the outcome, the incident has left a permanent mark on her reputation and raised questions in the wider community about how many similar crimes remain undetected. Christina Stokes. In February 2025, the quiet suburb of Edmond, Oklahoma, was rocked by the arrest of 45-year-old Christina Stokes. Unlike some of the other high-profile cases that erupted after viral videos spread online, Stokes' crimes were uncovered through a targeted investigation. Detectives had been monitoring online forums since September 2024 after receiving a report about a 15-minute-long video of a woman sexually abusing a brown Great Dane, which was shared on a pornographic website. During the investigation, police claim they also found a similar video shared on another pornographic website. When investigators executed a search warrant on her home on February 27, 2025, they found evidence that would place her at the center of one of Oklahoma's most disturbing animal abuse cases in recent memory. According to local coverage in outlets like Coco News and The Oklahoman, she had used her phone to record the encounters, which were then uploaded to a cloud service and, in some cases, shared online. This digital trail gave law enforcement clear proof of both the abuse and its distribution. Stokes was arrested and charged with multiple counts under Oklahoma's animal cruelty statutes, as well as for possession and distribution of obscene material. Prosecutors emphasized that her case was especially troubling because of the deliberate effort to record and disseminate the acts. Each count carried a potential prison sentence, and she was immediately barred from owning or living with animals while her case proceeded. Her first court appearance drew a large audience, with reporters crowding into the small courtroom to hear the charges read aloud. The prosecutor described her actions as systematic and deliberate, underscoring that this was not a one-time mistake, but an ongoing pattern of abuse. When the judge set her bail at $50,000, public debate erupted, with many arguing it was too lenient given the gravity of the crimes. Neighbors who spoke to reporters described Stokes as someone who had kept to herself, which made the revelations even more jarring. One Edmond resident told Coco they had often seen her walking her dog and would never have imagined something like this happening right next door. For many in the community, the betrayal of trust, that someone could publicly appear to care for an animal while secretly abusing it, was one of the most unsettling elements of the case. As of mid-2025, court records show that her case is still pending, with hearings repeatedly delayed due to evidence review and legal motions. The drawn-out process has left many frustrated, particularly animal rights advocates who worry that justice is being slowed. Some have pointed to the backlog of digital forensic cases nationwide as one reason these prosecutions can take years to resolve. For the community of Edmond, the case remains a chilling reminder that even in seemingly ordinary neighborhoods, crimes of extraordinary cruelty can hide in plain sight until technology brings them to light. Alenia Crittenden. In July 2023, authorities in Dothan, Alabama, uncovered a case that blurred the line between animal abuse and child exploitation investigations. At the center was 35-year-old Alenia Rebecca Danielle Crittenden, who was arrested after investigators found multiple videos of her engaging in sexual activity with a family dog. What made this case particularly alarming was the context in which the evidence was discovered. It surfaced during a broader probe into online child exploitation material, placing Crittenden's conduct in a disturbing overlap of criminal categories that law enforcement often describes as high-risk indicators. The investigation began when the Internet Crimes Against Children (ICAC) task force flagged suspicious online files linked to an address in Houston County. When detectives executed a search warrant on Crittenden's home, they recovered her phone, which contained videos showing explicit encounters with a dog. In at least one of the clips, her young child could be seen in the background, though not actively involved. This discovery escalated the seriousness of the case, since prosecutors feared the potential crossover between bestiality and child endangerment. Crittenden was arrested and charged with 1 count of possession of child pornography, 3 counts of bestiality, and 1 count of filing a false police report. According to reports, investigators seized both digital devices and physical evidence from the home. Authorities made it clear that while there was no direct evidence of child sexual abuse in the footage, the mere presence of a minor during the acts heightened the urgency of the case. Sheriff Donald Valenza described the crimes as disgusting and disturbing, pledging that his office would pursue maximum penalties. At her first court appearance, prosecutors emphasized the dual threat element of the case. Not only had she harmed an animal, but her child had been directly exposed to the abuse, creating long-term risks for emotional trauma. Her bond was set at $39,000, and conditions of release included a strict ban on contact with children and animals. Court documents also revealed that Child Protective Services was immediately notified, and custody of her child was reassigned pending further investigation. As of mid-2025, Crittenden's case is still moving through the courts. Prosecutors have indicated they may push for consecutive sentencing if she is convicted on multiple counts, meaning she could face more than a decade in prison. Defense filings suggest she may argue diminished capacity or coercion, but forensic evidence and her own admissions present a steep uphill battle. What makes Crittenden's case stand out among others is the way it intersects with child welfare. Many bestiality cases involve hidden crimes exposed by accident or cyber tips, but when children are even indirectly present, the consequences expand dramatically. For authorities in Alabama, this case became more than just an instance of animal cruelty. It was treated as a child safety emergency. It underscores a chilling reality. The harm caused by such crimes often radiates far beyond the immediate victim, leaving behind layers of trauma that can affect entire families. Lillian Angelique Hughes. Earlier this month, police in Chattooga County, Georgia, launched an investigation that quickly spiraled into one of the state's most disturbing criminal cases. At the center was 32-year-old Lillian Angelique Hughes of Lyerly, who was arrested after investigators uncovered videos showing her engaging in sexual activity with a dog. What began as a routine cybercrime probe turned into a scandal that rattled the small community and drew widespread media attention. The investigation was triggered when the Georgia Bureau of Investigation received an online tip about possible child exploitation files being shared. Tracing the data led detectives to Hughes' residence, where a search warrant was executed. According to reports in the Rome News Tribune, agents seized multiple electronic devices. Forensic analysis uncovered explicit bestiality footage that left little doubt about Hughes' involvement. Like several of the other women arrested in similar cases, Hughes did not initially volunteer information, but once confronted with the evidence, she admitted to recording the videos. Authorities charged her with felony counts of bestiality and distribution of obscene material. Because some of the content had allegedly been shared through private messaging platforms, prosecutors treated the case as not only an act of animal cruelty, but also one that threatened to circulate permanently online. The dogs were immediately removed from her home and placed in the custody of Animal Services. Her bond hearing drew strong emotions from both prosecutors and the public. A magistrate judge set her bond at $30,000 and barred her from any contact with animals. Court filings revealed that investigators had found more than one video, each recorded on her phone, further undermining any suggestion that this was an isolated or accidental act. As the month draws to an end, Hughes' case remains unresolved, with several continuances filed in Chattooga County courts. While the legal process drags on, her arrest has left a lasting scar on the town's reputation. For a place as small as Lyerly, the idea that one of their own was at the center of such a crime was a source of embarrassment and fury. In interviews, residents described feeling betrayed, as though the story had branded their town in the eyes of the outside world. The Hughes case illustrates how even the most rural corners of America are not insulated from crimes that many people once thought of as isolated or rare. In communities where everyone knows one another, the discovery of something this grotesque doesn't just shock, it lingers, reshaping how neighbors see one another and how a small town understands itself. Deanna Huff. In January 2025, authorities in Missouri arrested 64-year-old Deanna Huff after uncovering videos of her engaging in sexual acts with a dog. The discovery came during a digital investigation unrelated to animals, but once the footage was found, prosecutors quickly moved forward with bestiality and animal cruelty charges.
They didn't deserve that. They didn't deserve that at all.
Huff's case drew widespread media attention, not only because of the disturbing nature of the crimes, but also because she was a mother of two, raising concerns about the the environment in which her children were being raised. Huff and her partner, Sean Hirschbein, first made headlines after they were accused of having sex with animals on a school bus that was found in Adams County. Police said an investigation in Adams County found that the animals on the bus had been neglected and abused, and that a bull and pony showed signs of sexual abuse. Huff allegedly told officers that the school bus was filled with animals for a children's petting zoo that she and Hirschbein planned on starting. In total, the bus and trailer collectively contained 16 chickens, 10 ducks, 4 ducks and 2 turkeys, 3 dogs, 1 pony, and 1 bull, which all allegedly showed signs of bestiality. As her case progressed, prosecutors emphasized that the bestiality charges alone carried up to 4 years in prison, but with the addition of the child pornography counts, Huff faced the possibility of a much longer sentence, facing around 129 counts. Court documents later revealed that she entered a plea agreement made on July 30th, 2025, where Huff pleaded guilty to just 2 offenses: felony conspiracy of animal cruelty and a felony firearms charge, with the remaining charges being withdrawn. According to the Adams County SPCA, the plea deal made by Huff was made by prosecutors in part as a result of her agreement to testify against Hirschbein upon his case heading to trial. She was eventually sentenced to 6 to 23 months in prison alongside 3 years probation. Huff's case remains one of Missouri's most infamous examples of bestiality prosecutions in recent years. It underscored how these crimes often come to light by accident through broader investigations into digital exploitation, and raised questions about how many similar cases might still be hidden on devices across the country. And with that, we've come to the end of this deep dive. For more juicy content like this, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and check out the cards showing on your screen for more videos. Don't forget to comment your thoughts below.